the Author, a show about inspiring stories and conversations by creatives and all forms of art, music, movies, visual art, authors, creative writing, poetry, dance, culinary art, among others. Brought to you by the multi-award-winning author, life coach, and poet, Richard Mwebesa.
Wow, welcome back to Ask the Author. I am your host, the multi-award winning author, life coach and poet, Richard Mwebesa. On the Ask the Author today, we have a very interesting person. He's a multi-award winning coffee expert, barista, videographer, designer, quality controller, a judge, an academic trainer for baristas, and also a quality controller and roaster certified by the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, UCDA. That said, I am so blessed to be with you once again, having conversations, inspiring conversations with creatives, and we speak the language of creativity. The person I'm hosting today is Chris Tigaiza Sezi. By the way, I also forgot to mention, he's also a business proprietor. He's also a CEO, and doing big things and mighty things, helping youth get them jobs in the barista space, and also mentoring and coaching them to ensure that they become the best versions of themselves and providing opportunities. He's a young man, but very enterprising he is. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
Happy to have you on set.
Happy to see you,
Welcome
sir.
to Ask the Author, and thanks for the coffee that you're giving us.
You're most welcome.
On Ask the Author, I've already tasted your coffee. The place smells nice. What type of blend is this? The coffee seems to be roasted in a particular way. When I entered here, the aroma was very inviting.
Yeah, and in fact we have blends, also blends from Rwenzori and Eastern Uganda, that is Mbali.
Okay.
Also we have single origins.
Single origins.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go into the blends and types of coffees, please introduce yourself to our audience and viewers. Who is Chris Tigaiza Sezi?
Chris Tigaiza Sezi is an Hotelian who did a course in hotel management and later on specialized in coffee barista, and later on did a course in coffee roasting and quality control course with the Uganda Coffee Development Authority. Yeah.
Wow. So Chris.
Yes, please.
Coffee. Many people have myths about coffee. Okay, we know people call it the gold, green gold.
Yes.
Yeah. Other people call it the bean of growth.
Yes.
There are different philosophies about coffee.
Yes.
What is special about coffee?
Yeah. What is special about coffee? Coffee is a healthy crop. That's what I can say. In fact, when you take a cup of coffee, it contains almost all the food values. In fact, I can mention a few because you can get there's proteins, carbohydrates, and then also there are other antioxidants in there, and also other nutrients in there. Coffee, being that is the second commodity consumed after oil, it is in the world. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Second most consumed commodity.
Yes,
after oil.
Yeah, in the world.
Wow.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like what I can say, it's a corporate beverage.
Beverage.
Yes. Yeah. However, you can do more research about coffee because it contains almost all food values. Yeah.
I hold it there, Chris. Chris, are you sure? All food values, because I hear people say coffee contains caffeine.
Yeah.
Yes, and caffeine is also healthy for the body.
Yes.
It also takes away sleep. So, what about the caffeine in the coffee?
Caffeine in the coffee.
Is it a myth or is it a fact?
Yeah, caffeine in the coffee. Caffeine is a stimulant which stimulates the nervous system. In fact, it powers the nervous system. However, caffeine helps you to keep you more alert, which is healthy. And I'm talking about the caffeine in coffee, not the one in other soft drinks like Coca-Cola. However, why I can say it's a healthy, caffeine is healthy for your body, because it doesn't stay long. It can stay roughly 6 hours in your body. When you drink a cup
6
of,
hours?
Yeah, that's 6 hours,
that's
according to the study.
The study is that?
Yeah.
So when I take a cup of coffee, 6 hours,
Yeah.
it wears off.
It wears off. However, I can highlight still on the values in the food values in the coffee cup. It has a few of them. I'm not saying all the full values, but it has a few. But yeah, there is to assure there is protein, carbohydrates, and then there is one which is the line of the vitamins.
Some vitamins.
Yeah, in there.
As well. Okay.
Yeah, and the oils, in fact.
Even oils.
Yeah,
and the
and the
oils.
oils.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Coffee has oil?
yes. It has. So, in fact, oils is the one which is responsible for aroma, and then flavor and taste.
Wow.
Yes,
Repeat
yes.
that.
Yeah.
The oils in the coffee are the ones responsible for number one.
Yes, it's aroma.
The aroma.
Yeah, flavor. Yes, flavor and taste.
Flavor and the taste.
It's also it's attached to the acidity. Acidity also gives coffee flavor and also taste.
Wow.
Yes, in it.
Chris, you're not
Then
very technical.
yeah, technical.
About coffee.
The bitter side of it, which is the caffeine, because caffeine is the one which is responsible for the bitterness.
Bitterness.
Yeah. So yeah, it has to. So you find that in a cup there is a bit of the bitterness, acidity, and then we call the sweetness or the flavor side.
Sweetness of the flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, so man, Chris. So there's art in coffee.
Yeah, there is.
And I think this comes into the aspect of the craft, the artistic craft of baristas.
Yeah, yes.
But before we go to the barista space, I would like to know, how did you enter the coffee space? How did you develop a passion? Because I know you're a very passionate person about coffee.
Yeah, true.
How did you enter the coffee space? Who inspired you? How did you enter? What was in it for you to say? Because many youth nowadays prefer to be in other fields.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, you, young as you are, you into coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah, from the value chain, what I learned is from the value chain, from planting up to roasting, even quality control, as an expert.
Yes.
I mean, coffee, tell us your story. How do you enter space?
In fact, it's kind of a long story. It is a story which I normally say to the people. My journey starts from the golf club.
Golf club?
Yeah. I grew up near the golf club. We used to play tennis and golf mostly. That's when I finished my high school. So I met my boss whom I used to work with. I used to be a caddie. These are people who
caddie. So you used to carry the golf bags?
Yeah, golf bags.
Kits for
so he told
golfers.
me, Then later on I started playing golf seriously.
Who was that person that
she's called Sandra Koloma Waneknik. She's now in Australia. She was managing Gately on the Nile, in Ginger, and Gately and Tebe. So she approached me and told me, okay, you have a talent, because at the time I was playing a lot of golf, but however you need a career. I think that's where I was doing that's how I was doing the hotel industry.
Hold it there, Chris. Yeah. I like this conversation, and that's where I said it. It is said, when passion meets your vocation, and also intersects with what the world needs and what you're good at, then the elements of ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese philosophy that talks about purposefulness, effectiveness, and being able to live in your element, your why. So tell us more. So she spoke something. As she saw you're a talented golfer.
Yeah.
But she realized that you're spending much time in golf, but not developing a career that you could earn from. So how did that conversation unfold? Tell us
more. So she told me, you can come to a hotel, and then that's when I had to go there, and she told me you need to study about the hotel industry, and that's when I started studying hotel management.
Now I like the story. So being a caddie, holding
the golf bags.
Yes. So your boss, for whom you used to hold golf bags at the golf course, saw your talent and then gave you a chance.
Yeah. In fact, that time when I was carrying for him a golf bag.
Him or her?
Her. Sorry. Correction.
Okay.
Her.
She was a lady.
She was a lady.
She is a lady.
Yeah, she is a lady.
Okay.
That's when she said, okay, start. That time they had given us an opportunity to play. Caddies used to play a lot of golf in Ginger. I think that time they were called artisans. These are junior members who are at the club. So I used to play.
In most sports we call them amateurs. Okay.
Yeah.
Artisan.
In golf. So I used to play good golf, very good golf. That's when she told me about the idea to enter in the industry of coffee, the hotel industry. So I had to go there and then say, you need to train, you need to go and learn about the food in the hotel industry. So that's when we went into food in details. And I specialized in F&B.
Foods and beverages.
Okay. But that was the time when I was in Ginger. So later on, I was taken to Entebbe.
So who took you? Still your boss?
Yeah, still the boss. The same hotel.
Hotel. Okay.
Yeah. So that's where, but that was the time when the industry of coffee was at an early stage. Yeah,
which year was that?
That was around 2008. 2008. Yeah, it's an interesting story. 2008. So she told me, and by the way, you can pursue a career. I know you are good at hotelier because I already had papers in the hotel industry. So I got the level service. She told me, you can concentrate more on barista because this is where the world is heading. The coffee industry is changing the entire world and also here in Uganda. So that's when I started the coffee barista. But however, at that time I was a waiter, F&B, that's more a waiter, and then dealing in food and beverages. However, also I was a barman. So I picked the interest. That's where in coffee. So that's where I did my first training at Gately Inn. And this I can say it out. I got my first skill from a gentleman.
Skill?
Yeah, of coffee. He's a famous guy in the coffee industry called Gerald Katabazi.
Wow. So Chris.
Yeah.
So as you got the first barista training, when I backtrack a bit, I remember you mentioned one of your bosses while you still playing golf. Just look at you and say, you know what, Chris, you must have a career. Because you may not be able to earn a living from playing golf or being the person that supports people on the golf course. But that said, so was that aspect tying in well with the fact that you mentioned coffee is the second consumed commodity on earth after oil. So when she did her projections, she saw that coffee world over is a beginner and it's going to grow. So, but for you as Chris, where did you develop the passion? I mean, training was there for you, yes, well and good, but being a barista, how did you pick that passion and love for coffee to be a barista? And how does the barista art come out? I mean, how do you? Who is a barista?
Who's a barista? Who's a barista is a person who works behind the coffee bar, who operates a coffee machine in brewing different beverages, from coffee, teas, and there is a side where there is another section of mixology. Yes. However, most cafes currently their menus they have coffee beverages and then also other drinks like juices and smoothies.
Yeah. So tell us about mixology. You talked about mixology. I've heard the word, but I always thought maybe people are using it as a joke. So what does mixology mean?
Mixology, these are they mix cocktails, but those cocktails they add in alcohol in them. Yes, but however, I didn't have a lot of passion into mixology. I did it for some little time. In fact, I did it later when I came to Kampala. I used to work in one of the biggest cafe in Kololo. So they used to do a lot of mixology. So I learned that menu of cocktails. So I was talking about barista. So a barista normally is a person who operates a coffee machine at the same time making different coffee beverages. Not only coffee beverages, they also make other drinks like teas, smoothies, milkshakes, and the side of mixology, which I've said. However, a barista is not only a person who operates a coffee machine, but is also a salesman. to market the product. Because if you're not a good barista, you cannot market your product.
You can't market the product.
Yes, exactly.
So I've had people say brew.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I heard you mention coffee bar. So how is alcohol related? Why do they use the same words? Why is coffee brewed?
Coffee brewed.
What does it mean to brew coffee as a barista?
To brew coffee, there's another time we say extraction. So brew coffee is right away. Now, normally when we receive coffee beans, let's say, I'm giving an example. When you receive coffee beans from the roaster, at times you cannot brew coffee when you don't have a grinder, let's say.
A grinder?
A coffee grinder.
Okay.
So brewing coffee it takes you to another step of using more of the art, let's say. Yeah.
That's where the creative part comes in.
Yeah,
so tell us more about that creative part of the brewing and the artistry. Coffee,
now, there are points you need to note when you're a professional barista. If you're a professional barista, one, you need to know the origin of the coffee. Two, you need to know the farm process, and also three, you need to know where which altitude was the coffee grown, and also you need to know the type of coffee you're brewing to a client. And then another thing you need to know is the variety of the coffee, and also the roast level, which other people say the roast type.
Sorry, you're going very technical.
It's a bit technical. So, now.
But anyway, tell us, because the audience wants to learn these things.
Now, if you know the roast level, the origin, which is coffee, the coffee is coming from and the type of coffee and the roast level, I think they're more important. So that's when you can tell that, okay, this coffee is from here, and it's if I brew it like this, because it also depends on the gadgets you're using, because we have an espresso machine.
So instruments also
matters, yes. So most times when you're brewing a good cup of coffee, you need to understand the grammage. Of the coffee you're using per cup. However much if you don't have the equipment, because there is a way we brew coffee at home, what we call the local way, where you can put a few spoons of coffee in the cup.
Teaspoons. Then you mix your hot water.
Mix your hot water. So also there you need to use some techniques, because when you say, okay, I'm putting in 2 spoons, so my coffee will taste a bit milder. But if I want to taste more intense, I'll add maybe 1 more spoon or 2 spoons.
Okay. So where does the creativity come into the coffee space as a barista? Because I'll be honest, me, I'm a consumer of coffee. I love coffee. I like the smell of coffee. When I see variety, someone can tell you there's a cafe mocha, there's a cappuccino, there's a latte. So how different is a cappuccino from a latte, from a mocha, from an espresso? Because these are varieties.
Like coffee drinks, the coffee beverages.
Beverages. It looks like if someone does a latte, it tastes different from a
cappuccino.
A cappuccino or a cafe mocha.
Yes.
Yeah, or an espresso. So how does that art unfold, and how does the barista learn to say that this is now I'm brewing a cappuccino, I'm now brewing an espresso, I'm now brewing, so that art, because it's just like painting a masterpiece, to say this lies here, this lies here, because I know there are different coffees. I think there are about how many, 30 or 40?
Quite many. Now new ones are coming on the market.
New ones are coming. Those types of brews. So the artist, the barista, is able to master the craft, the art.
Exactly.
To be able to brew those different types and kinds of coffee. So as a barista, let me not confuse you by the question. Let me be precise. As a barista, how does that art unfold as you're learning the craft? The coffee. How do I say that now I'm doing an espresso? I'm now doing latte, I'm now doing a cappuccino.
So I'll first start with espresso. Now, all the drinks we have said is what we call the espresso-based beverages, because espresso is the key to make all those beverages.
So what does espresso mean?
Espresso is a one-shot coffee beverage produced by grinding fresh coffee beans through an espresso machine. So it's more of some people call it corn coffee. It's called concentrated, yes, concentrated coffee. However, when we make, let's say, a cappuccino, because these beverages were created up according to customers' choices and preferences.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice.
So, if when a customer checks into your cafe, let's say, for the first time, and he wants to know more about coffee, normally, if that is his first time, his or her first time, we normally advise her to go for a cappuccino or a latte, because espresso a lighter. Okay. In fact, mostly the best one is a cappuccino is the best beverage loved by most of the people. However, cappuccino tends to be, because normally that is a third froth, a third milk, and espresso. But latte has more milk, less coffee, and less froth. Less coffee.
The latte has
less coffee, more milk, and less froth. Yeah, the froth. But the cappuccino balances the third milk, a third froth, and then a third espresso. So the basic, so it balances like
3.3%.
Yeah, of each.
Which is the each of the milk?
Milk, froth,
and
the espresso. In fact, when you start from the bottom is espresso, milk, and froth. Yeah, in fact, the Italian, the old fashion of making cappuccino is when the cup of cappuccino doesn't have froth. Enough froth. That's not a cappuccino. That's the old version.
So what's special about froth? Because me, I don't like the froth as much. Because it's like foam floating on top of the coffee. So if you're not careful and using a coffee cup, and then you test the froth is lighter and warmer. But when you go to the real coffee, it will burn your lips.
Surprisingly, we have different customers. As I said earlier, preferences. Some let's say I can say customers mostly in the Europe, they tend to love to scoop that froth, like
so they scoop it with a spoon.
So when they're drinking the cup of coffee, but however, that's why you see the beverages are different.
Wait a minute before you go into beverages. So the froth on top of the coffee, why do they scoop? Because of the flavor.
The flavor. Yes, because when you scoop the froth, it loves the flavor and also the aroma of the coffee.
So the froth, because when the coffee is brewed and the froth floats on top, when they scoop off that with a spoon, they are able to to test the efficacy.
And also to give them more let's say the appetite.
Like an appetizer.
It gives them like what they're expecting in the final cup. It is. It's amazing.
So now moving into the aspect of you were talking about the ingredients. Yes, the detail of cappuccino, latte, mocha. So how does, as a barista, as an artist, because I've seen whenever I go to coffee shops, there are those that on the froth, on top they put for you a hat. They put a leaf. So is it a skill also a barista has to learn?
Yeah, it has to learn.
Why do they do that? Presentation. I want coffee, just but why do we have to put a hat or even a word on top of the coffee? What is important about that?
Yeah, in fact, it's almost one of the things which inspired me to love the coffee industry, because I used to see guys putting on different designs
on top of the
However, that represents that we are putting a much effort in making that.
So you bring the art, the actual art, into the barista craft.